Yo guys, what's up? It's Alec. Hey, in this video, I'm going to be talking about my first ever flip property and how I was going to be making $50,000 and I barely broke even. So I'm going to be sharing 3 tips with you at the end of this video. So be sure to stay tuned, all right? You're not going to want to miss these. And if this is your first time on the channel, this channel is designed to create a community built around real estate investing. I have been investing in real estate for about 2.5 years now. And so I want to share what I've learned along the way with you guys. So hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. So if you're new, hit subscribe, follow along, hit the little bell notification so you're notified when a new video comes out. And let's jump into the video. So if you saw my first video, if you haven't seen it, you can click up here at the top. But I talked about how I had literally no money when we first got started in real estate, like zero. Our first 2 deals were wholesale deals. And if you don't know what a wholesale is, that's totally fine. I didn't either. But it's this really cool thing that you can get a property under contract and then you can shop that contract around to the highest bidder and you make the commission. So for example, if you got a property under contract for $100,000, you could sell the right to buy that property for $125,000 to another investor. And then you make the $25,000 split in the middle. It's pretty legit. And those were the first 2 deals that we did. So the first house we got, we ended up getting it for like $31,000 and we sold it for $36,000. So we made $5,000. And the second house we got, we ended up getting for $35,000 and selling it for like $41,000. So we made like $6,000. Okay. So we took that $10,000-ish and we put that into our first property. It was a piece of crap house that we got for $65,000. And it was like 2,500 to 3,000 square foot. On the tax roll, it said 25, but it was a huge house. And so I was thinking, hey, I'm going to renovate this whole house and then I'm going to rent it out by the room because it was very close to a college. And granted, this was in August, September of 2019. So we really didn't have a contractor that we were working with really closely. And so we started asking around and we found this guy who was like a handyman. And he was like, yeah, I can do plumbing, I can do framing, I can do all of it. Like, don't even worry about it. And I trusted him. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a very trusting person. I look for the positives in people and I'm not very self-aware sometimes. Like, Morgan gets on to me because I don't notice things sometimes. So I'm like, yeah, like if you say you can do it, sweet. Like, go ahead, you know? Like, let's do it. And that was mistake number 1, is trusting a contractor and not getting a contract for the contractor. Looking back, it seems like a no-brainer, but then I didn't get a contract. So he said he could do all these things for this price, and it ended up down the road becoming a he said, she said type thing. And it was like, well, I thought you meant in your text that you wanted, you know, the plumbing only halfway done. It wasn't the complete job. Like, so prices got confusing, etc., etc. The budget went way over. We ended up, you know, having to carry that mortgage month after month. And the project was supposed to take 8 weeks and it ended up taking October, November, December, January, February. It ended up taking 5 to 6 months. Okay. So we finally get this house done. And I'll flash some pictures of it up here. It looked awesome, right? But, however, there were some major flaws. Oh, and P.S., don't forget to subscribe. So the house went way over budget, way over time frame. That ended up costing me more and more money. And then we tried to rent it. And if you know, we started to rent it in March of 2020. And that's when the big COVID hit. And so all the colleges shut down. And so my plan of renting it out room by room, it was a 5-bedroom house, by the way. And so I was thinking, hey, I'm going to rent each of these rooms for $500-$600 and I'm going to be making a ton of cash flow. And I probably would have if colleges were in, right? But COVID hit, colleges were out, and I was like, crap. Like, I'm paying $1,700 a month for this property. I don't have anything to show for it, so I got to rent this thing out. Side note here, we financed this property using a hard money lender. This is kind of like a private individual or a firm that has higher interest rates, but you don't have to have the experience or the credit like you would at a bank. And so the terms on this were 12% interest, so 1% interest a month, interest only on the full note. So we bought the property for $65,000 and we had a $55,000 rehab budget. Okay. So I'm $120,000 all in. So my payments were $1,200 a month with taxes and insurance. I was pushing $1,500 a month, and that's not including anything else. That's literally taxes, insurance, and the mortgage payment. Back to the story, COVID hit. I didn't know what to do. So I rented it out, and I was asking $2,000 a month because it was a 5-bedroom house. And I literally accepted a distant friend and the first person who wanted the house, which is mistake number 2. Never ever rent to friends or family, no matter how convenient or easy you think it is. It's harder to evict a friend or family. And so first month we signed the lease, $2,000. Okay, sweet. Like, I'm making a tiny bit of money. I'm putting some money back for maintenance. I'm setting it aside for property taxes, insurance, and the mortgage payment. So I'm making a little bit of money. But month 2 came around and it was like, hey, can I pay $1,500 this month? I can't do it. I'm like, well, as a first time landlord, I'm like, hey, you have to pay, like, no matter what it takes, like, rent comes first. You have to have a place to live. But I just had to start taking what I could because it was COVID and everyone was out of work and all this stuff. Even though this person was self-employed. We went over budget. We hired a bad contractor. We had to do a long-term rental lease that was different than what we had planned. And ultimately, it got to the point where we started losing money because the tenant wasn't going to pay rent. So long story short, we ended up having to sell the property. And I thought I was going to get closer to $180,000, but we finally accepted an offer because there were some things wrong with it that the contractor said that they did, like electric, like plumbing. Figured out once the inspection came along that they didn't actually do that. So we ended up having to sell the property. We accepted an offer for $150,000, and that literally got us out of the loan and paid for what we had put in the property. So it was literally a wash. And here I was thinking that we're going to put $120,000 into this thing and we're going to sell it for $225,000 and make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 after paying fees. And it ended up being one of the worst deals ever. However, big thing that we gained out of it was a learning experience. And that's the thing, like, if you don't give up, you're not going to fail. Like, just take what you've learned and roll it into the next deal. So the 3 things that I learned from this flip is, number 1, run the numbers. Always expect that budgets are going to go over. Number 2, get a contract and a timeline with your contractor. Make sure everything is detailed. Be meticulous with how you want things to look, because if you're not clear and it's not explained well, then things are gonna not end up being like you want them. And number 3, always run background checks, run financial checks, really screen tenants. Do not accept friends and family as tenants. This is so huge because I thought this person could afford the rental, but it ended up they couldn't. And it ended up putting me as a landlord in a hard spot financially, and I don't want you guys to be in the same place. So if you guys have any more questions on this flip, feel free, post them below, because I want to know, like, what questions do you have? What did I leave out? I tried to cover everything. This was a little over 2.5 years ago, so I'm trying to rehash it all. But let me know what other questions you guys have. I cannot wait to share more with you in future videos. Let me know in the comments below what kind of videos, what content, what questions you want to see. Again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification so you're notified. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Hey, again, it really means so much that you're taking the time to check out these videos, to hang out with me. I would really love to help answer some of your questions the best I know how. So drop them in the comment box below, like literally anything. If you're a newbie, I can help you because I was a newbie once too. If you're experienced, drop some knowledge on me because I'm still learning too. I just want to build a community around real estate investing where there's no pressure. You don't have to be this perfect person, this big macho real estate investor to get started. Like, I was a normal person. I still am a normal person. I didn't have any money. I had bad credit, and we were able to wholesale deals, flip deals, hold deals. And now my partner Daniel and I are able to create an Airbnb business. And so we've come a long way in the last 2.5 years. I can't wait to see where you're at in the next 2.5 years. So again, follow along. Thank you for checking out these videos, and I'll talk to you soon.